All right.
Austin,
Yeah.
we haven't talked about this in depth yet,
You have not.
but I wanted to. I know you've been playing this. I haven't touched it, but you've been playing this auto chess game, which now has been redubbed Auto Battlers. That's the new name that they're calling these games. The community has spoken and said, we're not doing auto chess anymore. It's called Auto Battler.
Man, auto chess just sounded so much better.
I agree. But you've been playing DOTA Underlords a little bit.
Yeah, I got to jump in just to kind of see what the game's about. And it took a second to really get a grasp because they don't really explain to you about all that. It's just like, well, here it is, jump in, do some stuff. And I was like, okay. Well, I finally understand like how the game's played. You have 2, 4, 6, 8. You have 8 people, 7 people you go up against. And everyone has like 100 health. It's kind of like how they're going to go about this. And so as you win battles, you keep your health, and as you lose battles, you lose health. And once you hit 0, you're out of the match. So it's this constant thing where you're battling all these people, and I don't know how they pair you up against them. I guess it's whoever's underneath you or above you type thing. And you get a certain amount of characters that spawn up at the top that cost some coin, and you're only given like 1 to 3 coins, I think, at a time. And you pick characters that you think are going to be good, and you place them on your character selection bar at the bottom, and then you throw them on the map. And then then when you battle, it's your characters against your opponent's characters.
Yeah.
And so over time, what I didn't realize was each of these characters have certain abilities. And the abilities are like, if you get 3 of a certain type of character, they do a certain either amount of damage, or they get more armor, or they allow you to heal people, or they allow to take armor, so like a negative buff against the enemies. And so there's all these different combinations for all these characters, and I find that pretty fascinating because I found that I liked using assassins and knights more.
Yeah.
So I think the knights, you get an extra buff for either armor or you get extra attack. And then the assassins, if you get 3, because you have to pair them up in teams, they do like 50% more damage to all enemy units. And the assassins are cool because most of them kind of can flash from the back, because obviously it's like a board, so you can place your team in any form or fashion how you think will be the best form of attacking, because they'll move forward on the board and engage any enemies that are in front. But the assassins, I put them in the back, and then they like smoke bomb out of the back and to the other side of the map at the back, and then they attack the enemy. I was like, that's actually kind of cool. And obviously if you get more assassins, they do more damage. So there's different types. Like if you get the demonic class, I forgot what they do, but you only like some of them only need like a pair of 2 to activate their ability, or 3, 4, 6. You can get a bunch. So it's just kind of cool to test all these out and see how they do against the enemies. And I was just playing against bots because I was like, well, if I go against people, it's just not going to work out for me. I'm just gonna get obliterated and get frustrated and not play anymore. But so far, I enjoyed the time I had with it.
I didn't realize this game was on mobile too.
Dang.
They released it on, it's got crossplay, so you can play it on both your mobile phone and PC.
Well,
so
I was going to say, I don't think I'm going to play this, but if it's on mobile, that might be worth picking up. So over the course of matches that you play, look at that, Brett just downloaded it. Jeez.
Oh, yeah.
So over the course of the match, you start racking up coins, and I think you get more for winning.
Yeah.
And then with that, you level yourself up. And so with each level, you get to add an extra unit all the way up to 8. So you can have a total of 8 units by the end of this giant match that you're in.
And can you level up your individual units while you're playing, or is that only after?
As far as I know, you
over?
cannot level them up.
Yeah, because I saw that there's a way to like level your characters, upgrade them to more, recruit heroes and upgrade them to more powerful versions of themselves. But I wasn't sure if that was like per match or if that was something that's done like after the fact.
I did hear about that, but I didn't know how you did that.
Okay.
Because I thought when I was leveling myself up, I was leveling up my heroes, but that's not the case. You're just as you level up, you're just getting more spots to put enemies down or your troops down on.
Yeah.
So obviously there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 rows, right? Rows.
Yeah.
And then there's
grid elements.
There's 8 columns, and then there's 3 rows. So you can place your team in any form or fashion. And it just got to the point where I just kept them in like one area, and I was like, this is fine. But depending on how that team has their enemies or their troops set up, they can come in different directions. It's like, especially if you have any healers or casters in the back, which usually I feel like you'd keep them in the back. Like the assassins will jump behind them and start attacking them. So it's just like this really interesting. I mean, it is like chess. I mean, how are you going to set your group up? How are they going to go in and engage the enemy? You have no idea. And so sometimes like you have I went like 3 in a row with my setup, which I forgot who I had now, but like they were doing pretty good, and then all of a sudden this other guy, he like obviously was a bot. He had his character set up in a certain way that they were able to get around my like front line and completely destroy me from the back, and I was like, dang. So it's really interesting.
Yeah,
it's interesting.
Nice.
I mean, I think for a lot of people, this will probably be fun because I think it'll always be different, and obviously there's a meta to this game. So, but I don't think it's like to the point where if you get this team, you're gonna win every time, because the way that they have the ability set up for different characters, and different characters have different abilities as well. So I'm curious to see where this goes in the next few. I wonder if this is just a fad that'll fall off eventually. But I don't know. We'll see.
I'm impressed. Sorry, I just literally, while you were talking about this, downloaded the game on my phone. I'm impressed that Steam, like, they actually integrated the friend store inside the game really nicely on the mobile. Like, I log in and I got my friends list like right there on the side of the game.
Dang.
And you can like build a party right there, and then you have your daily challenges, you got your options and stuff like that. They got season info. Apparently they're gonna add like battle pass down the line, so you'll have that.
I will say this, like it's gonna be hard to play this game because it takes like, I think I sat there for an hour before I won.
Oh, did you win?
Well, I was playing bots, so yeah, I was gonna win.
Oh, okay, cool. Nice.
Obviously, at first I was losing because I didn't know what I was doing, and then finally. Yeah. But I'm like, but still, it takes a while to progress through the game.
Well, they have a tutorial mode,
and so that's what I played. No, I just went straight to bots. I didn't even do tutorial mode.
Yeah.
So I don't know how this is like. If you want to dedicate like an hour, it might not be an hour. It might be less. Yeah. Right. But that's what it felt like. 45 minutes to an hour.
It depends how good you are. I mean, like if you like get your ass kicked early, then you're done, right?
Right.
But if you stick around with it and like can keep playing, yeah, I bet you could reach that point.
I think it's easy. Well, I don't say it's easy, but I think it's possible to go from the bottom to the top.
Yeah.
I think that's definitely possible. Come back, and you might have low health, but you might be able to beat the guy with the more health.
Yeah.
So
it's a really interesting idea. I mean, I heard somebody yesterday was saying it was a cross between what was the one game that they mentioned? It was a cross between a little bit of chess, poker, and mahjong, which I thought was really interesting. That's a lot of different stuff. Yeah, because like the poker, because you're like, I guess, making best of these characters,
right? And
then mahjong because of something with the timing and stuff like that, and the stacking of abilities or stacking of characters. Because I was reading that you can, like, I guess I think you mentioned this earlier, but like you can stack or alliance different characters to unlock new bonuses to further crush your rivals.
Right.
So that's pretty crazy. But yeah, no, it's pretty awesome that they got this going. And yeah, so this game came out. We have Teamfight Tactics. We have the original one, which I feel bad for the guys that made the mod because like now it's, I don't know, maybe hopefully Valve was like, hey, why don't y'all help us with this because you made this and we just are monetizing it.
That would be awesome for them, and I hope they've done that, but I don't have too much hope.
Then I heard 10 cents, which I think is hilarious, is they're making one. So 10 Cent is the group that owns, I think they actually own somebody. Who do they own? because they make a lot of games and things, video games and whatnot. Who do they own? Dungeon Fire. They play that game. Tencent. Dungeon Fighter Online. Call of Duty Online. Oh yeah, they own League of Legends. So Tencent is making their own auto battler, even though they also own League of Legends. So they're basically going to own 2 auto battlers here pretty soon.
Wow. Okay.
I think it's hilarious.
Very nice. Good for them.
Holy shit, I didn't realize these guys had so much investment. So Tencent, this is a Chinese company. They own Riot Games, like completely. So that's their that's their company. And then they also partly own Fortnite and PUBG. They have investments in those.
God dang. They're making lots of money.
Yeah. They're banking hardcore off of that stuff. That's wild. Anyway, cool. Well, I think that's going to wrap up for the games we played this week, everybody. If you want to play games with us each and every week, you can join us on our Discord channel. Check out the link in the show notes. Also, if you like what you hear, subscribe to us on your favorite podcast app and tell a friend. Stay tuned. We'll be right back with our video game news.